Well, our next guest is author of the book Sultan of Garbage. He has some good ideas on how to be a more responsible consumer and finding true meaning in a cluttered world. All right, he joins us now. It's Brian Belefant. Hello, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I know about you is you're pretty passionate about recycling, reducing waste. Tell us about yourself and what drew you to raising awareness.
Well, okay, so I started out in the advertising world and I helped perpetuate this culture of consumption and waste, basically buy stuff and throw it away. And it started to bother me, so I ended up getting into writing fiction, and this particular book has a lot to do with mostly consumption and waste and recycling and, what we can do as individuals within our lives, but also within the world. How to make, it's a story. It's not a preachy book. Please don't think I'm preaching to you. It's just a story of a guy working it out.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of know a little bit about the book, that he's on a yacht with with his friends, and friends don't exactly have the same mindset. It's really intriguing. Now, you have 4 tips on how to reduce waste and be a more responsible consumer. Let's go through those, Brian.
Okay, well, the first one is when you think about recycling. Recycling is more than just putting things in a blue bin. That's most neighborhoods have them in their corners, and we do that by default. But there are things that you can do that are sort of like more helpful than just putting it in the bin, because if the bin goes, they turn the plastic into other kinds of plastic, or they recycle the fibers. But I like to think of it in terms of a community, because, and the great example that a lot of people use, and I know it's kind of a cliche, is the egg carton thing. You get these egg cartons, and then what do you do with them? Well, you can stick them in the recycling bin, of course, to recycle them. But the thing that the people point out is, well, you can turn an egg carton into a planter for seedlings. All right, well, that's great. The idea isn't, for me, I don't make that many plantings. So the point is not to turn it into a planter. The point is to think of the things that you could do that don't just dump it into the place that's going to dispose of it.
Okay.
So even if you don't plant seedlings, maybe your neighbor does.
Yeah. Again, I read a little bit of your book. I was immediately intrigued, but tell us about the Sultan of Garbage and what it's about and what you want people to take from it.
Well, a lot of people think that it's autobiographical, and it only is partly. It's about a commercial photographer whose life is a mess. He's got a girlfriend who doesn't appreciate him and friends who try to take advantage of him. He comes into some money, and in order to try and figure it out, what's going on with his life, something tells him to go explore this island of garbage floating in the middle of the ocean. So he goes out there, and the island is essentially a metaphor for his life. And as he explores the island, he kind of confronts the issues that he's dealing with.
Yeah. Is there a part of you and your passion behind this book? Like, do you see yourself in the character?
Unfortunately, yeah, a lot. And the thing is, I do care about environmental issues and I care about recycling, but the story is not about some passionate thing. It's about trying to figure it out. I like stuff. We like stuff, and we live in a society where we're encouraged to have stuff. And so it's not this, I'm not trying to be Marie Kondo here. The idea is just give it some thought.
Okay. Give it some thought and make it a part of your life, maybe more so than you currently do. Okay, well, where can we get your book, Brian? We can't wait to read it.
Well, you can get it through Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can get it at a lot of independent bookstores. I have a website, sultanofgarbage.com, where I have listed a bunch of independent bookstores that have offered to carry the book. You can get a digital version, and look at that. You won't kill any trees if you do that. It's available through Amazon as a Kindle edition.
Well, I definitely want to know what happens with the story, and you just summarized it for everybody. It's a good read. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. And you can find the book, The Sultan of Garbage, wherever books are sold. And you can learn more about Brian at belefant.com, and be sure to follow him on social media.